Hi folks, how you doing? RussellTrueResults303.com. Check out the website. Link in the description box. Mind, body, spirit, fitness. Putting the healing back in health. Coming at you today with a video just on some food for thought. Right? So a while back I was listening to an interview by a gentleman called KRS-One. If you're not into the hip hop scene, you might not know who he is. If you're newer to the hip hop scene, like myself, I consider myself newer. late 90s. He was around way before that. He's one of the pioneers, I guess they would say, of hip hop. But he brought up an interesting topic, and that's why you're here. It's about segregation, right? And he was back at a time, of course. I have a buddy who didn't like Tupac as much because that's back when he had the albums strictly for my, y'all know the word if you watch it, if you know who Tupac is. But right, so it's more of the Black Power movement, the Black Panthers and things like that, right? And I heard KRS One say this, and then I was watching something else. I can't remember what I was watching, and this girl almost said the same thing. So I'm gonna try and bring it all into perspective, and like I said, it's about segregation, right? So what KRS One said was segregation was great for the Black community. He said it was when they decided to bring people together and eliminate segregation is when things got bad for the Black race, for Black people, right? That's what he said. And he said the reason why was because at least when Black people were segregated, they knew who the enemy was. They, whatever that enemy might be. I don't know. He didn't say the white man, America. He just said at least we knew who our enemy was. But once we were allowed to mingle with everyone else, now we were kind of lost with the rest of the sheep. And now we really don't know who the enemy is, right? Because we're given this false sense of freedom that we all say, right? Where people will say, as of right now, we are still slaves. Like, I'm a slave to the system, the United States, or there's some weird matrix. We've got the lobbyists in Congress and everything that are paving this false vision of freedom that we think we have, but we really don't. And I have a video called The American Dream, and I change the names of them every once in a while. But so that's what he talked about. He talked about how it was the worst thing that could happen because now we're intermingled. And we don't know who our enemy is because, it's before. Like I said, I don't know if he meant it was because it was the white man. I'm not sure what he meant. That's just what he said. And it made sense, right? But the one thing, I was watching a TV show later, and I can't remember what it was, but it was, once again, they were interviewing a Black girl, and she was talking about how when she was at a school where she was like the super minority, I think she was at a school where there was probably only a handful of Black people. And then she said, the downfall was I didn't know myself. I was just the Black girl. I was known as the Black girl, is what she said, right? And then she said, I didn't find my true identity until I went to a Black college because I was no longer the Black girl. I was surrounded by beautiful, strong, and intelligent Black women, and I had to find myself within a group of Black people because she wasn't categorized as a Black person. She was just a person. And she said it really helped her to form herself and to become the woman that she was. So once I heard that, it was like, maybe segregation is a great thing, depending on it. I know America, once again, we take it to the extreme, and maybe it's segregation as we segregate ourselves. But then there's also that downfall where they talk about with social media right now. I've heard it said, it's a downfall because when I was younger, I had to mingle with people I didn't like. But now with social media, I can force myself to say, I'm only going to hang out with this people. I have my own enclosed vision of what's right or wrong, and whatever, everything else doesn't matter, right? Which is negative. It's not helping you grow. It's enclosing yourself. You're putting yourself in a box instead of opening yourself to new possibilities. But then it made me kind of think of, how they talk about Jewish people, and they're rich, or at least they're wealthy and well off. And it's usually, they're a community, from what I understand, and I could be completely wrong, that mingle with themselves, right? They only support Jewish businesses. They have Jewish lawyers. They have, they mingle with themselves. They spend their money within their own community, so it's keeping it within themselves. It's that same concept of, oh, if you're proud of America, you must buy made in America. Well, we all know right now nothing's really made in America. Even if you buy a Ford, it's usually made somewhere else, or it's made with parts from somewhere else. They just relabel it, right? So that's another reason why America is losing our identity, because we don't have an identity. We're too busy trying to please everyone else instead of saying, no, this is us. This is what we do. We're losing our own culture because it might offend someone. Well, when I was younger, I offended a lot of people. I hung out with a lot of people that I might not have truly liked, but it gave me a foundation of being around people that I might not have got along with, I didn't agree with, but it gave me an opportunity, to expand myself. But we do need, maybe, do we need a form of segregation? Like I said, it's your own segregation. It's not someone else forcing segregation upon you, but it's you realizing what's best for you and maybe putting yourself in a box. You know what I'm saying? I'm in this box right now. It's kind of where they say, where you're always in your comfort zone. You just go to the same parties, you sit at the same table with the people you always know, right? You segregate yourself to those people. Well, what about if you decide, I'm going to go segregate myself for 3 months with those people? And I already kind of know what I know from these people. So you head over here and you say, I'm going to be right here. I'm going to go 6 months and do this and get out of my comfort zone, put myself in a different box, segregate myself to this part of society and get an understanding of what that society is really about. Are those people, those individuals, what are their beliefs? Is it right? Is it wrong? And not trying to think that everything that I know and believe is correct, because most likely it's not, right? So there's some food for thought just on that whole segregation. Is it needed? Of course, it shouldn't be forced upon us, but we need to sometimes segregate ourselves, right? That would just be the concept of stepping outside of your comfort zone. So now I'm going to make a video on why we shouldn't segregate. Hopefully that'll come up a little later. And unity. And let's see what we got. So once again, we need some comments. Let's talk about this. What's going on? What are your thoughts on this whole topic? And let's expand our minds even further. So I hope that was some food for thought. I hope it helps. Subscribe to the channel. Share and like these videos.